Welcome to another video. This time, we're going to look at a topic that might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but trust me, the more you think about it, the more it will send shivers down your spine. Today, we're going to talk about simulation theory. The idea that our entire world, everything we see, feel and experience, is nothing more than a gigantic computer program. Maybe you've had that strange feeling before. You're walking down the street, maybe somewhere here in Ostrava South. You look around and suddenly everything seems a bit too perfect. Or on the other hand, strangely blurry. Like the people on the tram are just background characters and you're inside some massive gaming level. Most people just brush it off, but scientists, physicists, and the wealthiest people in the world are talking about this very seriously. So sit back and get comfortable, because today we're going to question the very nature of your reality. Let's start with how our own technology is evolving. Just look back a few decades. In 1972, the game Pong was released. It was basically just two white lines and a dot simulating a ball. People back then were absolutely fascinated by it. Today, 50 years later, we have photorealistic worlds. We have games where you can see the reflection of the sun in raindrops and where characters behave almost like real human beings. We have virtual reality that can trick your senses so completely that you forget you're just standing in your living room. Now, imagine what games will look like in another 100, 1,000, or 10,000 years. Unless humanity destroys itself, it is inevitable that we will create simulations that are absolutely indistinguishable from reality. They will contain billions of digital beings who will have their own consciousness, feel pain and joy, and believe they are real. If we can do it, then someone else probably already did it before us. And that someone didn't just run one simulation. They ran millions, maybe billions of them. From a purely statistical standpoint, the chance that we are that one and only original biological civilization is almost zero. It's far more likely that we are just one of many running programs. This idea was introduced in 2003 by philosopher Nick Bostrom, and his argument is called Bostrom's trilemma. He claims that one of three things must be true. Either civilizations become extinct before they reach the technology to do this, or they reach it but have no interest in simulating anyone, perhaps for ethical reasons. Or, and this is the scariest possibility, we are already living in that simulation. The math is relentless. If there are millions of simulated worlds and only one real one, what are the odds that you are in the real one? It's like trying to draw one specific card from a deck that has a billion cards in it. But simulation theory doesn't just rely on probability. There is evidence directly in physics that looks suspiciously digital. The first is the speed of light. Why is there a maximum speed at which anything in the universe can travel? Why can't we go infinitely fast? In a simulation, this makes perfect sense. It's a hardware limit. Your processor simply cannot transfer information from point A to point B any faster. It's like the internal clock speed of the entire system. Another piece of evidence is the so-called pixels of the universe. For a long time, we thought space was smooth and could be divided infinitely. But quantum physics discovered that there is something called the Planck length. It is the smallest possible unit of space. If you wanted to move by less than this length, it's simply impossible. At its smallest level, the universe is grainy. It has its smallest bits, just like the screen on your phone or monitor. And then there's how the universe behaves when no one is looking. In quantum mechanics, there is a phenomenon where particles exist in all possible states at once until someone measures or observes them. Only at that moment do they decide where they actually are. Programmers call this optimization. When you play an open-world game, the computer doesn't render the entire city at once. No computer in the world could handle that. It only renders the street you are standing on and where you are looking. The universe might be doing the same thing, saving power and creating reality only where there is an observer. You might have heard of glitches in the matrix. People all over the world report things that make no sense. One of the most famous examples is the Mandela effect. Thousands of people remember historical events completely differently than how they are recorded in books. Many people swear that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s, but he actually lived into his 90s and became president. Do you remember the monocle on the Monopoly Man? He doesn't have one and never did. Do you remember Pikachu's black-tail tip? He never had that either. Are these just false memories? Or did someone in the background update the software of our reality and forget to overwrite the memory in some of us? And what about those strange coincidences? Moments when you think of someone and they call you that very second, or when you see 3 identical cars with the same license plate in a row. Sometimes it feels like the programmer is running out of imagination and has started recycling characters and objects on the scene. But if we really are in a simulation, the question arises, who started it? Maybe it's our descendants from the distant future who want to know what it was like to live in the year 2026. Maybe we are just a historical experiment to them. Or we are part of a scientific study testing how a civilization deals with the climate crisis or artificial intelligence. Or maybe it's all just a game. What if you are a being from a higher dimension who wanted to take a break from your perfect existence and play a human being with all their problems and emotions? Imagine that when this video ends and you eventually close your eyes, you simply take off your VR headset and realize your entire life was just one weekend in some interstellar amusement park. To some, this idea might be terrifying. The feeling that nothing around us is real can cause anxiety. But I look at it differently. If everything is a simulation, it means our life has an author. That it's not just a random cluster of atoms in an empty universe. And most importantly, even if we are just bits in a computer, our feelings are real. When someone makes you laugh, when you feel love, or when you feel sad, that feeling is real regardless of what the universe is made of. Reality is not what we see under a microscope, but what we experience in our hearts. Maybe we are in a simulation to learn something, to understand what it means to be human, even if we are just lines of code. Every decision you make, every good deed, and every emotion gives that program meaning. We are the ones who make this simulated world alive. So what do you think? Do you feel more like a biological original today, or like an advanced AI in a massive supercomputer? Try looking around a bit more closely today. Maybe you'll see something that wasn't supposed to be in the program. Maybe you'll find your own proof that everything is different from what they told us in school. Whatever the truth may be, I hope you enjoyed this reflection. The universe is a fascinating place, whether it's made of atoms or ones and zeros. What matters is how we play our level and what we leave behind. If you liked the video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you. I'm really interested to hear what you think about simulation theory and if you have any of your own experiences with glitches in the Matrix. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.